Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. This is your host, Coach Jane D, and I am here helping people find that success story that they have where they are living their fulfilled life and they are running successful businesses, not bogged down by the business, not missing what it is they really want out of life or whatever their calling is. I want you to be able to combine those things. I want you to be able to live out your passion, live out your purpose, and enjoy yourself in the process. Enjoy life while you're here to live it. So that's the scope of the podcast. So this episode is going to be a little tongue in cheek with the title. The title of this episode is Self Checkout. And I got to this episode a little weird way because I was thinking about an experience the other day at Target with the self checkout. And um, those of you that know me personally know that I'm not a fan of self checkout. I feel like I don't work there. Right. That's just my thoughts about it. Like, if you can give me a discount, I will do self checkout. Otherwise, I don't work there. But so I was thinking about that and I was trying to think about what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And excuse me. And I started thinking about the idea of, I was standing there not liking the self checkout. Another gentleman just left the whole basket because the one register that was open closed and he left the whole basket and just walked out the store. Um, and I started to go down the avenue of, are you really listening to what the needs of your customers are? Because there's some people that really like self checkout and there's some people that really don't, and you can service both, but there's this huge shift in the one direction, right? But in thinking about that, I was like, okay, that's a topic, but that's just a personal rant. um I started thinking about, what about your own self checkout? How often do you take an evaluation, inventory, check of yourself? And the reason why I say that is because as we operate as business owners, and I believe that business owners, are very closely linked to leaders because you are leading a business. Um, Depending on whether or not you have a team, you're leading a team, you might be leading in your industry, but you are a leader. And as a leader, you have a responsibility to the people that are attached to you. So even if you don't have a team per se, you may have people that work with you. You may have other business professionals that you work with, accountants and all this other stuff like that. You definitely are in a leadership role between yourself and your client. So in that space, it's important that we're doing a self checkout, that we are checking out ourselves to make sure that we are not having blind spots, because it's very easy to say, that's just the way I am, and move on. It's very easy, I'm actually going to tie this back to the original story. It's very easy to miss the fact that maybe what we're doing is what we want and not what the client wants. Or maybe we are over um emphasizing a particular thing and not paying attention to the data in front of us. Maybe we are not 100% in tune with how our past situations, how our un undealt with stuff is affecting how we operate and move around. I shared a video the other day on my personal page, and it said something to the effect of as long as we are unhealed, we are viewing things through the lens of that unhealed, of that past experience, of that past trauma. So we are not processing situations just as they are. We're processing them through a lens of our experience, right? And there's some good to that in the sense of there may be wisdom in that. I've done this before and I know that this may be some potential pitfalls, but there's some negative to that as well because what can happen is we are misjudging this situation to be the same as the previous situation, and we're not seeing it clearly. And in our businesses, how that can show up is now, because this one customer did this thing that was not appropriate, or this one customer tried to cheat us, or we had a bad experience with this one customer. Now we're bringing this over into how we operate. So now we, wagging our fingers and yelling at everybody, or we are, more aggressive in how we deal with our customers and less, compassionate because we are focused on this experience that we haven't worked through. Sometimes we may be not seeing that it's us, because sometimes it is. Sometimes we may be seeing again things through that other lens, and because we are misappropriating or misassigning the customer as being a certain way. So for instance, I see this a lot. Well, a customer may and it was a great example in one of the groups the other day. A customer may present something at a certain price, with a certain budget and want this thing. And there are some customers that really believe that this costs this. There's some customers that have no clue. I know that there have been times when I've gone to purchase something and they said budget, and I was like, I know what my max is that I wanna spend, but that does not mean that I wanna spend that max, but I also don't know what this thing costs. We, are looking to replace a door, and, we went through the whole process and get to the end, and the lady's like, "Well, that'll be, $4,000." And I'm like, What?" Like, that never crossed my mind that that would be in that range. Now, that's not saying that there aren't things that are not that price, but it never dawned on me that that was even in the range that I was looking at. I'm saying all that to say sometimes we get upset with clients for not understanding the price point, but we're basing it off of people who we may have had a bad back and forth with after we shared the price. Most times when someone, when I go into it just blank, not making any assumptions, not making any judgments, just you sent me this image, I'm going to send you a proposal that matches this image. Most times when that happens, the client comes back and says, "Oh, I didn't realize, what pricing was for balloon decor. Thank you for your time. I know that you're worth every dollar. But this is outside of my budget." And then that's an opportunity for me to either offer them something different, or if we're just so deeply, separate, wish them well and thank them for reaching out to me. Either way, not putting any kind of judgment on it. But I didn't always look at it like that. Sometimes, there was a time when I would look at that as a personal attack. Like, how could you think that my work caused this number? And again, that's that self checkout. I need to reevaluate me. I need to understand what triggers me about that. And a lot of it is that there is some disrespect in, all industries. And but I would argue that in, more cases than not, it's not that the person is disrespecting you or that the person does not value you. The person just is unaware. And so then that becomes our job to educate. So we have to kind of take some of the personal off the table, but the best way to do that is to do a self checkout. We have to check ourselves out and look at how are we feeding into this problem? How are we how are we a part of it? Because sometimes we are actually creating the scenario and we don't realize it. We don't even realize it because we are so deeply engrossed that we don't realize that the person is responding to our energy, not the other way around. Or let's talk about it a different perspective. Let's put it into, let's go back to leadership in your business. So let's say, you're leading a team or, you're leading your staff. Here's the thing with that. You set the tone. And a lot of times what I see is, you know, you're not providing clarity on what that person's role and position, their expectations are. And then you're getting frustrated when the person doesn't do the thing that you want them to do. And I see that with clients as well. You're not clearly defining how this process goes. And then you're frustrated because it's not going how you want. And then you blame the person and you say, well, I can't find good workers. Mm, it could be a little bit of you. It could be. I'm not saying that it always is. And sometimes it's, I mean, we're in a a shift in the job market at this time, and there's a lot of change in people understanding or feeling their worth and not accepting, certain pay and blah 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 blah. All that's happening too, but oftentimes we say we need help. And as a coach, when I hear that from my clients, what do you need help with? Everything. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you can hire for everything, but I know that you can hire for a stock person and you can clearly define that this involves keeping inventory, making sure shelves are stocked and putting. I know you can hire for that. I know you can hire for a cashier and they're responsible for checking people out and I know you can hire for those things, but if you can't figure out what you need, then the next person can't either, and you can't blame them for not knowing. So we have to do that self checkout and see where we're the problem, because we can fix us. We can't fix anybody else, but we can fix us. If we're the problem, we can work on it. We can fix that. We can solve for that. So we gotta look at ourselves. We gotta evaluate. We gotta see when we're the problem. And another part of self checkout is just checking ourselves for our own sanity, for our own mental health. Are we putting ourselves, because we can go the opposite extreme. So the one extreme is that we're we are, you know, not showing up as the leader that we need to for our clients and for our staff. The other extreme is we're not setting the proper boundaries around what we're doing. So we have situations where we got the customer coming in and they're running the show. And I don't mean in the sense of, you got to be barking at your customers. That's not what I mean. But we are not setting our standards of, you know what, I'm I need this amount of time to be able to do this effectively. And outside of this is going to one um lessen the quality of the work, and two is going to cause me mental anguish. It's going to stress me out. It's going to stress me out to try to accommodate this. But I don't want to say no because I'm too afraid if I say no, when's the next person coming? But I want you to learn how to stand in your standards, stand in your boundaries. And I want you to learn how to figure out when you are taxing yourself by not setting those boundaries. That's a part of self checkout too. Personally, for me, if y'all follow me on social media, you know that I'm doing my 2-day retreat for the balloon business. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a 2-day retreat for the coaching business. I do that for a reason. One, because I'm trying to stay on top of being the CEO and strategizing for the business for growth. But two, it's a part of my self checkout as well, because now I can look at where are the gaps, where are the holes, where are the things that I need to think about differently. And it gives me an opportunity to reset because we all need to reset every once in a while. We go, go, go. We have busy seasons. Sometimes it's not the busy season that's stressful. Sometimes it's the slow season that's stressful. But we have to be in tune with how we're feeling, what's going on. And although we don't control all things, sometimes taking control of the things that we have control of gives us a little more peace, gives us a little more calm as we're moving through the process. So we know, hey, I'm not just having knee jerk reactions because my business going to be here a long time. So I need to make sound decisions. I'm not, getting too um, emotionally, how do I want to say this? I'm not taking myself on an emotional roller coaster unnecessarily because I am paying attention. I am checking myself out. And I know that, you know what? This is a slow season and I need to utilize my energy a different way during a slow season so that I don't self sabotage, so that I don't start spiraling. I need to say, you know what? It's a slow season. You know how I've been meaning to put together this this inventory system, or how I've been meaning to get my CRM together, how I've been meaning to do all these things. It's the time. It's time. Let me focus on that. And you're always growing and doing more and building your business as opposed to letting yourself sit there and spiral, letting yourself stress out. Or when it's busy, knowing where that cutoff is to where you are making the income, you're getting what you need to get out of the situation, but you're not allowing yourself to spiral in that either. So that self checkout, knowing self is so, so very important. Spend some time, sit with yourself, figure out how you're feeling, why you're feeling how you're feeling, and what can you do to right that ship? How can you deal with that, address that? What is that trigger about? It could be, something that's totally unrelated to the business, but that makes you feel some sort of way. I know, I deal with a lot of creatives. I'm in creative industry. a lot of times, people discredit us as not being, fully, legitimate. That can be a trigger. Figure out what those things are and deal with them internally so that other people don't have that type of control over you externally, or when you are triggered, you feel it and you catch it and you can catch yourself, and so that you can respond differently. So that's what I have for you guys. I am just wrapping up this round of the Capable and Confident Challenge. My goodness, it has been absolutely amazing. When I run it again, y'all better get in it because it has been so amazing watching the breakthroughs, watching the confidence level shoot through the roof, watching watching people, go from more timid to shooting their shot. Oh my God. It's amazing. So next time I run that, no excuses. You better be in it. Um, July 1st, Saturday, I'm starting the calendar detox challenge. We're doing another round of that. And if you go to calendardetox.com, you can see the breakthroughs that happened with the ladies in the VIP room for that challenge. And that was amazing as well because they're learning how to get their lives in alignment, that their actions are matching their calendars, that they don't feel overwhelmed anymore, that they don't feel like they're just going, and not seeing that progress. So check out the show notes for that information. I will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.